For more on this week's rankings, BTN football analyst, my good buddy Glen Mason, joins us from Minneapolis. All right, Mace, I know something that the committee does usually rubs you the wrong way each and every week. So, do you have a bone to pick with these rankings?
Well, first of all, the biggest bone I have to pick is that Wisconsin's not in the top four because they are in my top four. And, when I hear the committee talk all the time, they talk about the teams that have beat somebody that is credible. It seems like they negate the teams that these ranked teams have lost to that just aren't, very good. And mainly I'm talking about Clemson. And, yeah, they've beaten some good people, but people forget about Syracuse. Syracuse is not a good football team. You look at what's happened the last 2 weeks against Syracuse, who they've played. They've been totally wiped out by Wake Forest and by Louisville. And so they're really a poor football team. And on the other end of that, I think about when you talk about the schedule and you look at the whole schedule, people are giving a pass to some teams coming down the wire when everything's on the line. And when I'm talking about Alabama last week played Mercer. I don't even know where Mercer is, and I'm not trying to make fun of Mercer, but come on. I mean, you're talking about trying to be in the college football playoff. Clemson played the Citadel. I think that when you look at a team like Wisconsin, and everybody seems to be trying to figure bad things about them, even though they're undefeated, let's not forget that they played Michigan. And Michigan's a heck of a lot better than Mercer and the Citadel.
So you've already ruined the surprise. You've told me that Wisconsin is among your top four. How does your top four shake out tonight?
Well, it wasn't the same as the college football committee. I had Miami number one, and I'm impressed what they did and what they did to Notre Dame on the big stage. I have Alabama number two, mainly because they're undefeated, even though I don't think they've played a real tough schedule, and they slid by, Mississippi State, 2 weeks ago. I've got Oklahoma number three. I think they're an awful good football team, and they've got an unbelievable quarterback. And I've got the Wisconsin Badgers number four.
I think Wisconsin would love it if that's the way the committee ended their rankings. They would play Miami in a game that you would expect to be played at the Sugar Bowl. I think the Badgers would match up pretty well with the Hurricanes. Games to play, though, this weekend, obviously, before we get into the championship weekend part of the schedule. Let's start with a couple of rivalries, Mace. Rivalries you've been a part of. Ohio State, Michigan, you both played in and coached in this rivalry. What makes it so special?
Well, it's one of those things that, I'm a kid from New Jersey. I didn't really understand that rivalry till I became a freshman at Ohio State. But I learned very quickly because at Ohio State with Coach Hayes, you worked on the University of Michigan 365 days a year. And I mean that. It was never out of your mind. And it was like a little kid waiting for Christmas. You couldn't wait for Christmas to come as a little kid. You couldn't wait for that game to come. It was everything. And, true rivalries, it's more than a game just between, two teams. It's two schools. It's two states. There's nobody riding the fence on that one. Either you're for Ohio State or you're for Michigan.
Ohio State's a huge favorite this week, double digits, even though they're on the road. Do you see any way that Michigan can pull off the upset, especially when you could take into consideration we don't even know who's going to be starting at quarterback for the Wolverines?
Well, just check the record. In those type of things, I think everybody that's been a part of true rivalry games, the coaches are the first ones to say, hey, throw out the records. They don't mean anything because everything is on the line in that game. And, I can guarantee you, Rick, there's been bigger upsets in college football than if Michigan would beat Ohio State this week.
Ohio State would still go to the Big Ten title game. That's set, as is Wisconsin's spot down in Indianapolis. Badgers finish off against Minnesota. Here's another rivalry for the Axe that you were a part of for a long time. Any major concerns here for the Badgers going on the road against a Minnesota team that is obviously struggling late in the year?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you the main concern for Paul Chryst and the Badgers is that absolutely no one gives Minnesota a chance to win. They have no chance to win. That's what everybody's saying. Even the Minnesota fans are saying that. So if they're saying that, what do you think the Badger fans are thinking? And when you enter in a game like that, that's the biggest advantage Minnesota has, is that no one gives them a chance. Watch out. Funny things happen in the game of football.
So says Glen Mason. Good stuff as always, Mace. Thanks for joining us. Hope you and yours have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Same to you. Thank you.